are people getting geared up for 2027 because the politicians are setting up the structures. And for those who are frustrated, for you to be able to beat the structure, you now have to, start building a structure. For those in the Labour Party, to be precise, they understand now that politics is not just being a good boy, like they, try to put out there on social media. Politics has got a little bit of, strategizing, a little bit of planning, a little bit of relationships, there's all connections, so to say. So have you started? Because this is 2024. Governance will run for this year, run for the better part of 2025. But by 2026, it will all be politics. And so people are already strategizing, people are already putting themselves in the right places so that in the next 2 years, by 2026, they can start politicking. Look at Obi, for instance. Obi visited Plateau State victims, the two local governments where there was the Christmas Eve killings. It was in another state now. I'm trying to remember that state. What state was that now? I know he visited someone else. I think, was it Ondo State? I think it was Ondo State. He has even been making certain strong statements saying Labour Party is the main opposition and not the PDP. Also, the reason why I've decided to have this conversation, it has to do with an interview Daniel Bwala did on one of the TV stations on Tuesday evening, where he said something about Atiku running for presidency or for the office of the president in 2027. And people have reacted to it. The APC have laughed at it. Even some people in the PDP have, reacted to it. Some welcomed it. Some said it's going to cause the party to go into some kind of storm that it may not survive. But actually, Atiku is saying that I will run 2027. It's just a matter of time, right? So I'm going to quickly quote some of the things he said immediately after the Supreme Court judgment. Now, one of the things he said, as for me, okay, no, where is it now? I just want to make sure that I'm getting the right things. Okay, so he said that as for me and my party, this phase of our work is done. However, I am not going away. For as long as I breathe, I will continue to struggle with the people. So he said it was not going away. He was going to continue to struggle and ensure that Nigeria is on a developmental path, right? I'm wondering. Daniel Bwala also talked about a coalition, that the only way that they can beat Tinubu is if there is a coalition. And he said that there should be a coalition, there should be some kind of measure, because Tinubu's game, President Tinubu's game, is to weaken the other political parties by ensuring that there is division in those parties. And he mentioned, the Apapa faction who tried to destabilize the Labour Party. He talked about the division or the fight or whatever crisis is in the PDP. And he said that is the way that, and so he's saying that if they come together, for NNPP, for instance, that there's the faction that has suspended Kwankwaso, and he said if they come together, that they will be able to form a formidable structure that will be able to wrestle power from the president in 2027. They are planning their structure. They are planning. Now, let's even go to the United States. The elections are near, but the plans did not start. I mean, Donald Trump has already been saying I would run for president for more than 2-3 years now, right? He's been in some running battle with what's the name of that governor now? The DeSantis, that's his name, right? I can't remember the state in America. And they have already been saying, oh, I want to run, I want to be the Republican candidate, and all of that. Even in the UK, There have been talks about, who will run for what position for some while now. So you don't just wait till the election period or the times for primaries before you start declaring your interest, or we as a people before we now know who the people we would vote in 2027. For instance, in Rivers State, we need to begin to understand who are the good legislators and who should not return to the legislative house. The executive positions. We need to also know the politicians that we will be voting for as either governor or president or any other position, even the local government elections that are near. We need to understand that it is part of the structure that will help the politicking in 2027. But are we gearing up? Are we even interested? I know. Right now, the economic situation is so terrible that a lot of us are just hanging by a thread. A lot of us are just surviving. We're just breathing, right? But I always tell you that politics is so important, very, very important, because it determines the policies, and the policies determine how you and I survive. For instance, the policy of Buhari, it affected us, right? I don't know how you see it. You could see it positively or negatively, but we felt the impact. The policies of Tinubu, we are feeling the impact right now. For instance, subsidy is gone. The foreign exchange sector has been unified. We're feeling the impact of renewed hope. Positive or negative, I do not know, but my point is we're feeling the impact, and this is as a result of the politics that was played during the 2023 election cycle. So are you ready? Are you gearing up? Or as usual, something that happens every one time in Nigeria, once the situation passes, we forget about it until the thing happens again. So we're waiting for the next election cycle to now make up our mind as to whether we're political animals or not. Have you joined a political party? Are you making sure that you are a bona fide member of a political party? Are you making sure that you are participating in the party's activities? Now, we learned yesterday that the PDP, for instance, has not held a NEC meeting for 16 months. As a party member in the PDP, what have you done? What have you done to ensure that, the PDP is up and running? I mean, Labour Party is saying they are the main opposition now. Are you in Labour Party? What have you done to ensure that the party, does not lose the momentum? The momentum does not abate, because a lot of people say, it was just a one-time thing. It was just a move. People were just desperate to have Peter Obi win elections. But what is the possibility that force, that momentum will still be there in 2027? Even Peter Obi knows, and that's why you see him in Plateau State. That's why you see him in Ondo State. That's why you see him making statements. He reacted to the comments by the president on New Year's Day. The president's New Year's Day speech. So these are the things the politicians are doing. But what are we doing as citizens? Are we just standing in akimbo? Are we just there passive, not doing anything? Have we put our politics, spirit in the box, that Christmas box, and we've padlocked it? Well, what's it like? I don't know, but I'd like to get your thoughts. I'm going to open the phone lines now, and I really want to know, are we gearing up? Because, if we have the defeat mentality, we can never win, or the politicians would always win, my goodness, I wonder if indeed Nigeria will ever get better. Because if these people who are politicians, irrespective of the political party, be it APC, PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, whatever party, Accord, AD, if they believe that they can always have their way, I mean, Senator Magnus Abbey has gone back to the APC. What do you think that's for? That's for a political calculation in the nearest future. It's for his political survival. So if you do think that these people will reason your matter, like we say in our parlance, then I think you're in for a long journey. And so we need, as a people, to begin to build our structure. So how can we build the structure? But most importantly, do you have it in mind that you will play a major role in bringing about that shift that we desire in 2027. We have a long way to plan. I mean, life is not certain. I mean, I can die tomorrow. I can die the next day. Life is not certain. Nobody knows when his death day is, but it doesn't stop us from planning, right, as a people. So that's what I want us to talk about. I'm so excited about this conversation. I hope you are too, and that's why I'm talking too much. But let's go to the phone lines now. 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Are you gearing up for 2027? Or, I mean, you just don't care? But for us to be able, when I say us, I'm talking about the citizens, for us to be able to impact the electioneering cycle, we need to start planning right now. I don't know if you agree with me on that one, because the politicians are already planning. The fight in Rivers State is for 2027, in my opinion. Senator Magnus Abbey going to APC, once again political survival. Atiku has come out to say, Wala is saying on behalf of Atiku that there will be 2027 for Atiku. That might bring about a political drama in the PDP, because there's still the Wike's faction. I mean, what will happen to Wike at that point? Because people are thinking that the reason why he's still in the PDP is so that maybe, I don't know, the school of thoughts. But hey, what are you thinking? What are your thoughts? I've got Andy from Rumadumaya. Andy, welcome. What is on your mind?
Yeah, Kalada, good evening.
Yeah. Yes, same to you. Welcome.
Yeah, Kalada, I think you bringing up this discussion is a very important one.
Okay.
It will go a long way to begin to make people, if possibly, begin to behave well. Not just politicking, but in a way bringing awareness to people on how politics should go. Yes, you just mentioned the United States of America and the rest of them. Canada, for a quite long time last year, have been following up the United States. They have started and they have started. And everything that has to do with the aspect of Trump having issues in Colorado and other states, of him not coming to begin to run for election after this year. Canada, if you go and act and go through it, I've been going through it since. Canada, I have not heard of any court judgment given here and given here. I have not heard of anybody, just like in the local government, that politics has started and somebody is carrying boys to begin to go to a particular person's house to begin to unleash mayhem on the family and the rest of them.
Okay.
Canada, it is very important because we, the people, have to know what is in the mind of a particular person who wants to come into politics. Is it by going to the market to begin to share rice? Is it by going to the market? That is the first day you begin to prepare dollar for people, or you go to the saloon to begin to make people bob their head and the rest of them. Canada, the real aspect of this discussion is have to be aware. And most importantly, just like what you said, the masses have not taken it to their hearts that this is the real time for politics. Yes, knowing the kind of politics we play in Rivers State and in Nigeria, it calls for we the masses to be able to distinguish who and who has the people at heart.
All right.
Are you getting what I'm saying?
I'm listening
to
you.
It's a very important one. And at the end of the day, let us also know whoever that we begin to look for boys to begin to harass people, all in the name of ambition. Canada, we should be able to filter some people and know that they don't have the people at heart.
All right,
thank you very much, and God will continue to bless your station.
All right, thank you very much. Amen. Andy, thank you very much. But then the answer to how do we know who and who? I mean, I've got JJ from Port Harcourt Township. JJ, welcome.
Yeah, Canada. Good evening, afternoon.
Good afternoon, it is.
I want to look at this issue from three directions.
Okay.
I mean, three political parties.
Okay.
The APC, the ruling party, the Labour, and the PDP. The preparedness. A lot of things are working against the APC right now, right?
It seems
you have the unsolved war killings, right? You also have the killings in Plateau State that is still ongoing, right? And you have a lot a whole lot of things. The food insecurity as a result of the major insecurity that we have right now. And above all, the fuel price. You know, these marketers, by the time they come with some projection, it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen. That's how we moved from 180 something to something now. And they also told us that by December, the refineries will start working. We have not seen anyone and all those put together. This may be some issues that may affect the APC come 2027 when the time comes. Let's go to that Labour Party. Obi is not ready to build anything. I will see him as food is ready politician that wants to take advantage of whatever that is built already and may not gather the people because the people may be disappointed with him for not coming to support, forget all this, go to here and big money and that and that. Atiku himself is also a food is ready politician.
Okay.
So we want to go to Dubai to stay, and once in 2026, he wants to come back. But as at then, it may be other people that will be maintaining the PDP if it still exists. Because from what
JJ, let me pause you. I understand where you're going with all this, but you see, I'm not necessarily concerned about the political parties, more about you and I, who are the people who would vote for the political parties. Now, these political parties, I mean, they have their strategies, like you said. Some would go to Dubai, some would wait.
So, go into extinction.
My point is, what about the people? What will they be doing in the space of the next 3-4 years? That's the question I'm trying.
Will be doing what they know how to do best.
But is that not what is that is?
But I think that what the people are supposed to be doing right now is to mount pressure on the government to make sure the suffering on the masses is reduced. For instance, if the finance start working, they have a space, even though they have done that the difference may not be much. At least make we first scan and see how the market has been put their face when they add that there is increase, they sell immediately, and where they will put their face to tell you that the water social prices cannot sell immediately. And insecurity that is having cases and all those stuff.
All right, JJ, I've got to go. JJ, I've got to go. I'm sorry, and the line was not clear. I've got the headline news to bring your way. After that, I'll come back and I will talk some more and I'll ask you some more questions about this. I do hope I've explained the conversation very well. I'm more focused on the people and not the political parties. For instance, I usually would listen to a UK radio station, LBC, and even before the current Prime Minister, Richie Sunak, became Prime Minister, they've always been talking about, and the different political parties have been contesting against, and the people are very much aware of who they would like to be in that position. I'm just wondering if the people in Nigeria have, pushed back politics to the back burner, and I don't know. I'll be back. When I come back, we'll talk some more.
Headline
All right, I'll take some calls now. If you're just joining us, you're listening to 92.3 Nigeria Info. I am Kalada Kurubatubo, and this is Hard Facts. And I'm looking at what the citizens of Nigeria are doing in terms of preparing for 2027, because it looks like the politicians are preparing. We saw the reports today, the headlines carried it, that Atiku would run yet again. I should emphasize on yet again, run for the office of the president in 2027. The politicians are getting ready. They are setting up structures. Remember, structure is the key word here. At the people setting up their own structures that will be strong enough to say during the 2027 elections or whatever elections would hold that no, we're not going to give in. We're not going to give in to the pressure of the politicians. And that can only happen if the people have a structure. So, one of the things that gave way during the elections, where people still accepted tithes and offerings from the politicians, dollars and naira from the politicians. People still accepted rappers. People still accepted, different items. So I'm wondering, have we started preparing for 2027? Okay. Muriel from Okrika, welcome. What is on your mind?
Yeah, Canada, good evening.
Yeah, welcome.
Yeah, Canada, this call I'm not be too early, honestly.
Okay.
Even though we may think 2027 is too far, it's still far, but trust me, it's not.
Okay.
We need to start looking at the politicians now, our leaders. We need to look at those who recall, in fact, those who will not even make attempt to vote again. Do you know that in one of your 64 stations, I just heard that the APC, the Tony Okocha faction of the APC, they went to the one home of the elderly that was built by a church, donated some items, and then were soliciting for votes from 2027. They started asking for votes.
Of course.
So you see, it cannot be too early. And those of us, those people know that they can really lead. They have good ideas to lead. Should begin to seek for ways to go into governance. Honestly, they should go register themselves in political parties and look for ways to be involved in this thing, so that you don't just keep the sidelines and then keep talking, keep making suggestions and giving good, bright ideas. But you really need to get involved in the act as well.
All right.
So that there will be a change.
All right.
It's a very good call. I'm not too early.
All right. Thank you very much, Muriel. Thank you, Muriel. Clinton from Bori, welcome. Clinton, what's on your mind? I'd like to hear what you're thinking.
Good afternoon to you.
Greetings. Welcome.
One thing you know is that everyone cannot be a politician.
I agree.
Yeah. And no matter the structure being set up by the people, if they are not being protected by the institutions, the structures will collapse.
Okay.
What are the institutions I'm talking about? INEC.
Okay.
The police.
Okay.
These institutions are there to ensure that the will of the people are actually paramount or come out in a democracy.
Okay.
But have that been the case in Nigeria? No. Even when the masses come out in their numbers and vote massively for a particular candidate, if that candidate does not have the institution, Canada, I'm telling you that those votes are wasted.
Okay.
So we are clamoring for stronger institutions instead of stronger men.
Okay, so can we start building the institutions from the now, like you've just mentioned, INEC, and that's a very good observation you've made on the show. Can we start, clamoring for a better INEC? If you say INEC is the problem, I'm reacting to what you've said.
Good.
If you say INEC is the problem, can we start building a strong institution called INEC?
Canada. Again, the history of men you're talking about, they are not independent of the government.
Okay.
The people have been clamoring, they've been agitating that this institution will be independent of the government, but they are not. Again, our lawmakers should legislate that if they have proper legislations that actually promote the independence of these agencies, I think we'll have successful elections in Nigeria.
All right. Then.
So, as
a people, what we want is good governance. That's what we want.
All right, good governance.
Leave the for the politicians. But when they get there, they should be able to deliver to the people the dividends of democracy.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Eric from Thai, welcome. Eric, what is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Good evening, Canada.
You're welcome.
I was just listening to your why is it that our politicians are taking Nigerians for granted to this extent?
How do you mean?
I don't just understand. When did we conduct the last election? And we are yet 1 year into the present government. That they are beginning to talk about structures. They go around talking about 27 election. So when do the people have dividends of democracy? When do they put the plan on the table and deliver the mandate or the manifesto to the people? Is it that the election is going to be the business of Nigerians? That after 3 years or even yet the government have not delivered anything. They started planning election after election. And Nigeria will just be between. But
Eric, there's this saying that he who fails to plan plans to fail. So now yesterday on Canvas, we talked about goal setting. So they have a long-term goal. They are thinking ahead. I mean, in developed countries, okay, they have a 50-year plan.
I get you. I'm with you. I also listen to the program.
Okay.
You know, if they have a long-term goal, your long-term goal should be broken down into a smaller components. And one of the long-term goals should be the achievement of Nigeria.
Okay.
And one of the short-term goals is also be the development of Nigeria.
Okay.
And that is the hallmark, and it should be a focus on every political office holder.
All right.
Let's look at a case study. Where are we now? How does this start? All begins with structure.
Okay.
And the structure are human beings. And the human beings have no scholarship. And the human beings have no
but maybe so Eric, don't you think that for there to be a change, just maybe the human beings should now start to take control of the politics? So if they start planning from now and then they gain a stronghold, I'm going somewhere, Eric. Yeah. Okay.
Listen, let me tell you this one for a truth.
Okay.
Rivers people have decided to only run the present governor.
Okay.
But looking at the antecedent and how he made it, you will see that it was. I will look at it as.
So now because I don't have time. I don't have time now. I've got to go. I don't have time. Eric. Okay.
And they select people, and at the end of the day, they are not put on the table. People are crying here and there. They are talking about 2027.
Okay, but you know, Eric, thank you. I want to argue with you some more, debate with you some more, but let's listen to Hector, who is calling from Ogbogoro. Hector, welcome. What is on your mind?
Thank you.
Let's get here. Yeah, welcome.
I keep saying, long time ago, that the next election here belongs to those who will live to see it.
Okay.
So 2027 belongs to those who will live to see 2027.
Okay, so we should not worry about it now.
No, not that we should not worry about it. As in their name, their unions, we hold it plans. We have our plans ahead. But for that plans to come to pass,
all right,
only God knows.
All right.
Now, politics itself, by right, politics is designed for betterment of a society. But the process is full of tricks anyway. Atiku is now, he has started making plans to contest for 2027. Magna Tabe is back to the Chief People's Party in the state, and people have started planning the structure. Now, to me, what should be the structure? The structure should be a party.
Sorry, what did you call the party? Sorry, I didn't get that part. What did you call the party, please?
Which party? You
said Magnus Abbey has returned to what party? No, seriously, I'm asking. I didn't get to hear you.
Well, it's the Confucian People's Party.
No, that's wrong. You know the rules. I didn't get to hear you well. That's the wrong thing to say. All right, thank you. Yeah.
The party, every party in charge of government should try as much as possible to give good governance. Because it is a good governance that the PDP gives today at the state level. It is the kind of governance that the APC gives at the national level that the people will now use at their seat, putting them into power in the next election.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've got to go now, but let's look at the message on. I've got a tweet here. It says it's too early to talk about 2027 general elections. Let's focus more on governance. From Ifeanyi Chukwu Kingsley. Do you agree? Do you agree that it is too early? But let's read this message. It says, good evening, Canada. We talk as if we all don't know what's happening in this country. Power in Nigeria is not truly determined by the people. But that's why we're having this conversation. How can we, the people, determine the power? We have from now to 2027 to plan. Am I wrong? I don't know. But you said we have seen numerous instances of corruption and unfairness in past elections, and there is a clear lack of transparency. But don't you think it is because we went into those elections without a strategy? You say if the people are not allowed to freely vote for the candidates of their choice, and if their votes are being tampered with, then it's likely that the people will become disillusioned and apathetic towards voting. Furthermore, the lack of security at election sites is also a cause for concern. I don't think I'm ready, or the people will be ready for any elections. It's useless when there is no transparency for INEC or even security. Police take sides, making it a threat to people's life. Joseph from Port Harcourt. Joseph, thank you very much. Soon says Happy New Year, Canada. You're very correct. The earlier we start re-strategizing for 2027, the better for the masses. The politicians are already gearing up. For me, it's the Labour Party again in 2027, and Mr. Peter Obi have sensed it early enough. Bernard from Port Harcourt, all right, if you say so. Come 2027, I believe Nigerians will get it right once again, despite the political tricks by the politicians. Fidelis Lemuwa from Chokochoiche. They're not here yet, so I'm going to take some more messages and some more calls until they get here, if they eventually get here. Let's see. This one says, good evening. For me, I'm done with politics in Nigeria. The only reason I voted last year was because of you and Constance. Collect your PVC and vote. Your vote is your voice. Also, the excitement about Beavers pushed me to vote. I then got the biggest disappointment of my life. In 2027, it's a no-no for me. But Dave, you see, collect your PVC and vote. Constance and I started saying that, 2022, towards the end. I remember, yes, we had that campaign, but it was, towards the end of 2022 and the beginning of 2023. That's too short a time for anybody to plan and strategize. I mean, we as a people, and of course, you should understand that we all would not have the same idea as to who to vote, where to vote, how to vote. No, we all will have different ideas. But if we start planning from now and start calling on the government to, of course, some people say focus on planning. We can use government to, initiate our plans. Because you're the APC. There's also a question for you. For those of us who are for the APC, how do we ensure that, now we can ensure that those victories are not lost in due to the political fight right now? Talks about him maybe getting the Amber Day treatment. What are we doing? Will we support the government? What strategies have we put in place? Because this fight yet again, this imbroglio is because of the structure for 2027. as we've heard, from the various political actors in the state. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. WhatsApp 0817 or 0809, I beg your pardon, 0306-416. A text from Oyigbo says, I am particularly interested in all upcoming elections, especially the by-elections for the Oyigbo State Constituency seat recently vacated, but for the 27 polls. I want INEC to do a voter re-verification to clean up the current voters register. I know 2 people in my own polling unit who have passed on a while ago that were still displayed in the voters register on election day. I also want an amendment to the 2022 electoral law to make all contestants for an INEC conducted election to have been members of their political party at least 6 months to the primaries date. I also want the registers of all political parties to be made public documents so that we know where everyone is and we don't need to wait for our legislators to publicly announce defection before we call on INEC to do the needful. Text from Oibo. I do think we should even make it 1 year. The members who want to run via a political party should have been members of that political party for at least 1 year. I do think so. I really do. I do think so. Martins is calling from Agri Road, but before Martins did call in, Robin from HA had called in earlier. Robin, welcome. Hello? What is on your mind? Yeah, what's on your mind? Tell me.
Yes, good evening, Canada.
Yeah, welcome. Quickly, please.
You ask a genuine question. What should the people do to prepare themselves against 227? Canada, the people are crying, and they keep crying. But I think the problem does not lie on the people.
Oh, okay.
If you look at the last election, the difference between Labour Party and PDP, they gathered over 6 million votes each. While the APC, according to them, got little above 8 million votes. My problem is not the people. I have told you for a time, but I feel like being conquered.
Okay.
Among so many other Nigerians.
Okay.
By the political rulers. Feeling of them. The judiciary has been pocketed. The judiciary. Canada, I keep telling you, why is Nigerian politician telling you go to court?
Let me pause you, Robin. So you've stated all of these things you feel are wrong with our society, and all of these institutions you've mentioned are very, very instrumental to elections being free, fair, credible. And the people are being conquered because the people want to be conquered, according to you. So how can the people fight, through the elections? So how can the people begin to strategize for the elections? That's what we're talking about.
Thank you very much. There was a law, Electoral Act, and the INEC National Chairman Mahmoud, including Okoye, the Federal Commissioner of Voters Education, they told Nigerians, you didn't want to somehow to tell them there that the result will be transmitted to the people. Did that happen?
And it did. No, Robin, see. Robin, it did not happen. But can we make it happen? Can we make it happen? That's the we're not looking back and crying. But we have the legislators we have legislators representing us who we can make. We can force them to make laws.
The President National Assembly. Yes, the President National Assembly has told us that they are going to make it mandatory.
Okay.
That the result should be transmitted from the polling unit to the server. That is going to make it mandatory.
Okay.
And if the National Assembly, someone is already to do that, and then move Nigeria to go.
All right.
But without them doing so, I doubt.
But can we force them to do? That's the question. But thank you, Robin Maja. Martin from Agri Road, I'm sorry I missed your call. Really, I'm sorry about that. You can call back any of you have the opportunity to. The number or numbers are 0817 923 0002 and 0817 923 0003. Samuel Igbekwe Samuel Igbekwe on Facebook says APC does not have much things to offer because governance is what they should talk about than 2027 again, but the time will not. I don't get that message. Skipping it. All right, Samuel Igbekwe, thank you very much. I don't understand your message. Well, let's go back to WhatsApp. It says, ahead of 2027 election, Nigerians must demand the achievements of any persons asking the support. We must stop the narrative of supporting those who don't have anything to offer. Christian William from Igbo Iche. So, I'll give you a brief story of how it's, being seen in, or how to do things I perceive in the UK. So, they don't necessarily talk about a particular candidate, right? What they talk about is, what are the policies that the parties have been pushing for, the ruling party, what policies have they been pushing for, and what have been the arguments of the opposing parties. So let's say the Labour Party in the UK is saying, we want to ensure that we stop immigrants from bringing in their loved ones into the UK. Then maybe, UK now, they have a lot of immigrants, and they're not thinking, I don't like this policy, but what are the opposition parties saying? Even if they are saying things to our favor, at what cost are they saying it? Then they vote in that line. So, there is an abortion law. I don't like this law. What are the other parties saying about it? And then they vote in that line. So, can we begin to think in that direction? 2027. That's the conversation. Daniel from Imo Gate. Daniel, welcome. What is on your mind? I like to hear from you.
Good evening, my brother Canada.
Welcome, Daniel.
Yes. Good enough that if they are putting up their strategy early, it's good for you as well to enlighten ordinary Nigerians like us that we have to be prepared. I think that is the topic why we are looking at this topic at this particular moment in time.
Yes, you're right.
Yes. But, Canada, my brother, the issue is that the structure these people have is that they have both the judiciary, the military, the police. Ordinary Nigerians, what can we do?
I'm not conceding to that, but let's say I do. How can we fight for these institutions then? Because these institutions belong to the people.
Good question.
Okay.
The way we can maybe put up our structure is that one day, who could have even believed what is happening in River State today? I am an idea.
Okay.
Maybe let us work out what the next election in River State is going to look like.
Okay.
And from there, you will now know that a day will come when the people will, take up their power by themselves.
All right.
Maybe call it revolution or whatever.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Kelechi from Bori. Sorry about that. You had to wait for a while. But let's see. This one says, good evening. The fact that elections cannot be free and fair in Nigeria is something that cannot be overemphasized. Even when citizens decide to have a nice election, some persons will always want violence to be the order of the day. It's really pathetic. I suggest that the machines and other equipments required for an effective election be put in place in time. Fortune from Alu. Good evening, Kaladat. The people are bracing up. I will also be vying for one of the political offices so my people can be effectively and efficiently represented. Thanks, from Minima Priye. But Minima Priye, have you joined a political party? Are you attending the political party meetings? Are you, are you showing yourself to the people already? Making them remember, ingraining yourself in their minds that you are going to be a good representative of the people. I don't know you, but I'm just asking. But this one says the Nigerian politicians are grouping and regrouping in the name of structure for 2027, not bothering to ask their conscience if the people are satisfied with the present style of governance. And I agree with you on that one. You said, where are the electoral promises? The people are tired with the Nigerian type of democracy and have therefore abdicated all about politics in Nigeria to INEC and the judiciary to continue in these elections than this deceit called elections. Elder Joel Adolphus from Degema with that one. All right, let's take some few more calls. It's almost at the top of the hour, and of course, you know what happens at the top of the hour. Every 6 p.m. we bring you the major news. the major news bulletin. Constance Mega is standing by. 0817-923-0002 and 0817-923-0003. What are your thoughts on that one? WhatsApp 0809-030-6416. If you're just joining us, I'm talking about how the politicians are already strategizing for 2027. Should the people not strategize as well? Do you think it would be too early if the people start strategizing? Do you think, given all the economic issues and economic problems, the people should not even bother? But you know what I like to say? Politics defines the policies that define the economy of our pockets. So it's felt the effects of the policies of the former government. So it's not something we not saying because it will affect our future, present and our future. So while Senator Magnus Abe has gone back to the APC, we hear Atiku wants to run for 2027. The conversations are on and on. I'm sorry I can't take your calls anymore. I've waited too long, for that call to be answered. It's almost time for the news, so I've got to go. This one says, come 2027, I believe Nigerians will get it right once again, despite the political tricks by the politicians. Fidelis, I read that message. But anyways, thank you for sending that message again. But I would have to step on the brakes right now. When I do come back, we talk some more.